Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecha Warehouse, and today we're going to do our 2022 year in review. We'll talk about everything that's been going on this year and kind of the whole recap of 2022. And quite frankly, I think it was our craziest year yet. If I had to sum up the year in 2 words, it would be good problems, right? Tons of changing, tons of growth. Bring with it a bunch of hurdles and things to overcome. We managed to overcome all those things, or are working through all those things as we go through the year, but it's definitely been a year of rapid change, lots of problems to solve, and it's been exciting, it's been chaotic. 2022 was approximately, we grew to about 2x where we were at in 2021. So when you think about that, it's kind of crazy because 2021 was a 2x on 2020, and that every time you double, if you continue doubling, it's a lot more, right? Doubling 100 is a lot different than doubling, 200 or doubling 1,000. The amount of extra work and time and energy that goes into it is increasing each time, and the growth is becoming crazy. So we'll talk at the end of the video about kind of goals and plans for 2023, but let's jump into 2022. So January, I started the year beardless because the charity stream last year, we got a donation contingent on me shaving off my beard.
Take off a beard, take off a beard.
Okay, it's recording. All right, so I guess I got to do this. And thankfully that didn't happen with the charity stream this time around. I got to keep my beard, which I'm quite happy about actually. And being able to beat what we did the previous year and keep my beard, that's great. We also started the year with some packing tests. We smashed some boxes and stuff like that. So it'll be some fun B-roll if nothing else. Moving into February, February brought the addition of Brent and Chad, 2 really solid performers for us. By the end of the year, they're both kind of our go-to packers now, and it's kind of incredible to think that Brent and Chad feel like the old guard now. They've been here for almost a year, and there's not many people here that have been here before them. We've had so much growth that so much of the team was hired in 2022 that things just grew rapidly. It's just kind of crazy to think about. March brought us the Virtue restock, which at the time was our biggest shipment ever. It was 7, 8, 9 pallets, something like that. And in retrospect, it seems tiny and like nothing. But we got all that stuff in, checked it in over the course of like an afternoon. Started shipping those pre-orders and somehow made all that work in the old warehouse when we had 1 packing station and nearly no space compared to where we're at now. And just kind of crazy to look back and think about that. And March also had some record days that don't even rate the top 10 now, which is kind of crazy to think about too. It kind of illustrates that growth. March was very much like the older Mecha Warehouse, right? We weren't shipping as many orders, weren't receiving as many orders. Back in those days, we had 1 packing station and could keep up with them without any trouble. And as you'll see as we move through the year here, by the end of the year, we're struggling with 2 packing stations sometimes, and we're falling behind, which is just further compounding how crazy that is. April, we started really, March we really started, but by April we were really starting to run into space issues with the old warehouse. It'll be good for the vlog. We need a bigger warehouse. It was a small space. Shelves took up everything. We didn't have places to put like pallets of excess stock. I think we had like 2 pallets of excess stock towards the end of the old warehouse, and then stuff up on top of the shelves. So considering we have like double the amount of shelves now with all the stuff on top of them, and I don't know how many pallets, but a lot, 50 plus pallets of inventory just sitting around waiting to go. It's kind of incredible. Not much in May though, other than hitting our 100th live stream, which is pretty crazy. We've been doing these live streams every Saturday since middle of 2020 rather, and it's kind of crazy that they've continued to grow. We typically see over 100 concurrent viewers, usually a lot more than that these days. And we hit our 100th back in May. I think we're up in like the 120 something range now. June is when the Davids started. We hired 2 Davids at the same time. Kind of funny and ironic. One's still with us. The other had to move out west to support a family member, I think. So there could only be one. Only one is with us now. But that was, David's starting to feel like the old guard too. Yet another person we hired this year. June was also our last month in the old warehouse in Hooksett, so we saw a lot of our kind of wrapping up operations there, shipping our last order from that warehouse, and starting to get everything ready for the move, which happened at the beginning to middle of July. So July was the move. Obviously July and the move, that was probably one of our biggest, craziest weeks ever. I think it was like, I don't know, maybe a half dozen trips or so with the giant truck that we had, loading up pallets, bringing them all in, checking that stuff in, setting everything up. It was just a crazy week, and it's amazing that we were able to do it a lot because of our volunteers and our team just putting in the hours and doing the work. And looking back, can't believe how much work that was. And I also can't believe, based on how much stuff we have in the warehouse now, that we ever thought that we thought we were going to grow into the space over the course of the next 3 to 7 years. It's a 7-year lease, and we're already kind of bursting at the seams, which is also kind of crazy. August brought us into kind of our first more normal month, our first full month in the new space, and starting to get back to those sales records. It feels like between June and August, our monthly sales numbers went through the roof, and it kind of worked hand in hand with being able to receive more inventory, having some space to deal with that inventory, and having 2 packing stations being able to actually ship orders, twice as fast, which came in handy because there definitely been times where we've needed 2 packing stations to kind of keep up, which is just absolutely insane. And it's kind of the beginning of our more consistent sales like we've had the last few months. We've just had enough inventory, had lots of good items in stock consistently now, and it's a good thing. It fits in that good problems category I talked about earlier, where it's been good to have these popular items in stock now for a consistent amount of time, and we're past the era of everything showing up and selling out immediately, or most items showing up and selling out immediately, which is good, but it's also led to more choices for customers and more stuff in the warehouse, leading to these space issues and trying to figure out how to renormalize what the correct level of stock is for these items, especially when we only had minutes of sales data in the past, and now we have days and weeks of sales data. It's going to give us a much better insight into how many of different things we need to last until the next time they restock. September brought us another staffing change. Santana moved back to West Virginia, and that also led to us needing to hire somebody else here, and that was Ethan. So we added someone to the media team here to have someone on the ground to manage cameras and help with editing. Ethan's become a big part of a lot of our marketing stuff, appearing in a lot of content, and I think it's been a great addition. It's good to have multiple resources now on the media side, so everything's not tied up in one person. It means we've got more collaboration and more options, and again, just adds that's what the probably 4th person that's still around that we've hired this year, and we're not done yet. So that's more than doubling our team, I think, from where we were at before. September was our God Gundam restock. Huge restock, tons of pre-orders to ship, and between that and the Labor Day weekend, I think that was the beginning of our first long period of kind of being behind on shipping orders. It wasn't until October, so this is where the October more chaos comes in. It wasn't until sometime maybe mid to late October when we were fully caught up. It just took that long. We had so many orders coming in. It took that long to dig out and get back to our goal, which is to ship orders up until noon the current day in that same day. That's like our ideal place we want to be. We've not been able to do that sometimes over the last few months, and this was the first period where that was true for more than a couple days, which was kind of insane. October also had us realizing that the heat didn't work in this place, which was exciting. We spent some time dealing with that, got the first furnace up. The second one ended up getting up and running in December finally, but that was a fun period of being really cold in the warehouse. November added a new member to the team, Brooke, our last new addition of 2022. So that makes 5 people that are here now currently that weren't here before. people that were here before was just Dylan, Santana, Patrick, and then myself and Kate. So we basically doubled the team over the course of the year, which is just insane. November also had our largest single shipment ever, which was 22 pallets, that full truckload we got just before Black Friday, our biggest Black Friday ever, and checking in 22 pallets over the course of 3 days, which was just insane, using our per diem help, the members of the team that aren't part of the regular team, so to speak, but have been invaluable over the last couple months. And it also was our biggest day ever when we put the MGEX and Witch for Mercury pre-orders up finally. Record day by far. And I think November in a nutshell is just too much too fast. We get so much stuff coming in now, we're just limited by literally the space to put it in. We've got shipments now that are should be ready to go and pack, and are sometimes being limited by our inability to receive them and having to tell Bandai, hold up, we need a minute to process what we've got before we can take our next shipment. So hopefully we'll be through that in the next year. But that takes us into December. We got more big shipments, 2 large shipments last week actually. One that was 18 pallets, followed by one that was 15 pallets, receiving those back-to-back days. I thought I was gonna have a week in between them, something like that. So that in total is, like 33 pallets. So if you consider those together, that would be our largest shipment ever. Processed that all last week thanks to our per diem help, which was very valuable. They got us through all that. I think there's a couple things I got to finish checking in today, but we're basically caught up on that. And then just more space issues, right? We literally don't have any more places in the stack, so to speak, to put any of our remaining inventory. Some of the stuff that came in on that big shipment is kind of in the aisleway now again, or it's going to be put into the check-in area. We'll hopefully get enough of that shipped out over the next couple of weeks as we get caught up on orders again, which, by the way, we're behind big for probably the second time now. And we're going to try to get all that stuff kind of out and caught up so we can receive the next massive shipment or shipments that are going to be due to come our way. So that's kind of 2022 in a nutshell. So like I said, the theme was good problems, lots of growth, lots of additions to the team, big move to the new space. Everything's been growing and changing so rapidly. It's been just insane. My hope is 2023 brings us a more reasonable level of growth and not growing so fast that we're like breaking everything every month or two and having to redesign, rebuild, and figure out how to operate at this new size constantly. Hopefully 2023 will bring my ability to go on an actual vacation. I'm really looking forward to that. That's like one of my New Year's resolutions, is to actually take some time off. I think the team will support that and be able to handle my absence because we've finally hit the size where that's really possible. But trying to figure out how to make that happen is high on my goals. And I'd say the one other big goal is just to kind of normalize everything and get to a more sustainable place. We'll probably hire several more people. I think need some help with purchasing and customer service, and whether that's one person that helps in both, or 2 people, or part-time people, or whatever. I'm not sure what that answer is. Probably another person or 2 for the warehouse, hopefully, and continue to grow that side of things so we can not have as many of these backups and potentially be able to support a 3rd packing station sometime in 2023 to help us when we are really behind like we are now. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to a good 2023. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next and where things go from here. It's been a wild ride. Looking back, this is a good time to kind of reflect on the past few years. We started the business technically in 2019. 2020 was rapid, humongous growth, and from there, I would never have believed, like 3 years ago, that I'd be sitting here now with this huge warehouse space and this large team and doing all the stuff that we're doing. So I'm excited to see what the next year, 2 or 3 kind of bring. So thank you for watching. Let me know down in the comments below what was your most favorite moment, Mecha Warehouse moment of the year, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.